Dominican Republic is a vibrant Caribbean island nation that receives many guests. Most come to take in its beautiful natural scenery. They enjoy its stunning coastlines, crystal waters, and fascinating wildlife. Others are drawn in by its rich history. The country's capital city, Santo Domingo, became the first European city in the Americas when the Spanish settled here in 1498. As tourists explore forts, museums, and monuments, they're taken back in time to more than 500 years ago, to an age of daring explorers like Christopher Columbus and the earliest European colonization of the New World. But there's another type of guest that frequents the Dominican Republic shores. These visitors have journeyed here since 1981. Unlike the island's many tourists, they don't come in search of a relaxing resort stay or immersive historical experience. They don't come to receive, they come to give. This group is Maranatha volunteers, and they've returned to the Dominican Republic over and over throughout the years to meet an important need. Since 1981, Maranatha's local crews and more than 10,000 volunteers have helped build 214 church buildings, 4 one-day churches, and 85 classrooms.
Maranatha has blessed the church here. This is one of the reasons why they have been growing so fast, from 40,000 now with almost 400,000 members.
As long as the Adventist Church in the Dominican Republic keeps growing, so does the need for more infrastructure. This need has spread to one particular neighborhood in northern Santo Domingo called Ciudad del Cielo, which translates to City of Heaven. This community is a socio-economic blend. Like everywhere else in the city, it has many residents who live in poverty. They barely earn enough to feed their families and take shelter in shacks of tin or tarp. But somewhat unique is Ciudad del Cielo's prominent middle class. Members of this demographic typically work stable jobs in sectors like healthcare or education and live comfortably in apartments or small houses. As Santo Domingo grows north, so does the Adventist Church. Thanks to the evangelism of passionate congregations and the work of the Holy Spirit, there are 80 Adventist churches in and around Ciudad del Cielo. But the City of Heaven has a serious deficiency, one that threatens the church's next generation.
En toda esa área no tenemos ni siquiera un colegio adventista. Lo que se hace urgente, no solamente por nuestros hermanos que los requieren, sino también por la comunidad. No hay un colegio donde podamos tener a niños conociendo nuestros valores como cristianos y nuestros valores como adventistas. Por eso se hace necesario la construcción de un centro educativo que sabemos será de mucho valor y de gran importancia para toda aquella comunidad.
¿Y qué hizo la mujer cuando Jesús vino?
This need weighs heaviest on parents, striving to raise their children in a spiritually uplifting environment. As a school psychologist and mother of 3, Sindel Peralta understands the importance of Christian education better than most.
Somos psicólogos educativos, mi esposo y yo. Entonces, como conocemos aparte de eso la verdad de Dios, los fundamentos cristianos y los principios que ayudan no solamente a prepararnos en esta tierra, sino en la venidera. Entonces, a raíz de eso, nosotros queremos lograr en nuestros hijos que se preparen en el mundo, pero que no son del mundo.
Sindel and her family are members of the Ciudad del Cielo Adventist congregation, and at home, they keep Jesus at the center of their children's upbringing. During family devotions, they teach their kids to praise God through song, seek Him through prayer, and love Him by loving others. But without an option for Christian education, Sindel and her husband are forced to send their 2 school-age children to a nearby public school. And they've noticed the negative effects this environment has on their kids.
De la escuela de mis niños, no me agrada que ellos traen muchas cosas negativas al hogar. Ellos traen malas palabras, malas costumbres y cosas que realmente no es la que le estamos enseñando, y sentimos que estamos vaciando agua limpia y luego nos traen agua sucia.
Sindel felt a sudden thrill of hope when she heard that Maranatha was planning to build an Adventist school in her community. When Ciudad del Cielo's church members were asked who would be interested in sending their kids to such a school, Sindel says her hand was the very first to shoot skyward, followed by many others.
La educación adventista es importante porque fomenta en la persona entender el por qué estamos aquí y para dónde vamos, a quién pertenecemos y por qué nos diseñaron. Tenemos todos un propósito de vida y lo vamos a entender, a descubrir por medio de la palabra de Dios.
After much prayer and thoughtful consideration, Maranatha officially committed to the construction of a school for Ciudad del Cielo in 2022. This campus is dedicated to Daryl Hardy, Maranatha's late vice president of construction. Daryl poured Christ-like love for others into each and every project he tackled, but schools held a special place in his heart. The Ciudad del Cielo campus was one of the last projects he worked on before passing away unexpectedly in November 2022. A school in the city of heaven is a fitting memorial for a man who dedicated his life to sharing the hope of heaven with as many people as he could. It will carry on his legacy of loving service by teaching kids about Jesus for years to come. When complete, the school will include a building called an Education and Evangelism Center, which will house an auditorium surrounded by classrooms, bathrooms, and offices. It will also include a large church that can hold 500 people. This is a much-needed upgrade from the congregation's current cramped meeting space. The campus will also have a boundary wall to increase security and beautiful landscaping. A project of this size requires the combined efforts of many passionate individuals. And after breaking ground on the campus in February 2023, 6 volunteer groups have served here, making significant progress on the boundary wall and Education and Evangelism Center. When we come back, learn about the 7th and most recent group of volunteers to give their time and energy in the City of Heaven and what they ended up receiving in return. "15 months after breaking ground on Ciudad del Cielo's school campus, the 7th group of volunteers arrived to help turn blueprints into reality. This team was composed of employees from Seventh-day Adventist healthcare system, AdventHealth. It was with tired minds, travel-worn bodies, but willing hearts that they arrived to serve. AdventHealth is headquartered in Orlando, Florida, and is the largest not-for-profit Protestant healthcare provider in the United States. Its mission is to extend the healing ministry of Christ, which it does at numerous medical facilities in 9 states across the U.S. But this mission isn't contained by American borders.
The majority of the mission trip activity that we organize is really related to our employees, giving them an opportunity to serve. We do that in partnership with our footprint locations, these hospitals that we partner with around the world. We typically will take our employees, volunteers, other people who are friends of AdventHealth who want to come along are welcome to do so.
As a longtime member of Maranatha's board of directors, Monty Jacobs sought collaboration with Maranatha as a way to offer non-clinical AdventHealth employees an opportunity to serve internationally.
When we do a medical outreach trip, there's a limited number of positions that people can do that are non-clinical, but the majority is for clinical people. Partnering with Maranatha on a trip like this has been really special because it allows us to bring non-clinical employees on a trip and have them do meaningful work that can really benefit the community.
Non-clinical volunteers on this trip built interior classroom walls for the campus Education and Evangelism Center. Most of these AdventHealth employees work office jobs. They traded desks for a construction site, computers for trowels, and business casual attire for hard hats and safety glasses.
You know what? construction, especially with these cinder blocks, it is harder than it looks, and it takes way more time than it actually looks. You would think like, hey, I'm just gonna slap some mortar on there, lay a block, move on. But just making sure that this wall is able to stand and be sturdy enough to be here for more than 100 years, it takes detail, it takes some precision, and a lot of just meticulous time to get this wall up.
While laying cinder blocks beneath a scorching Caribbean sun, team members were bolstered by the knowledge that their contribution would impact this community for years to come.
As our team has learned about the needs for education, specifically in the Ciudad del Cielo community, the 80-some churches that are there without a school for their children to go to, there's clearly a huge need for Christian education. And for those that have come from maybe a lower income environment themselves, they know the importance of education, and they know the opportunities that creates for people as they receive a quality education. A guided education that's faith-based can open doors for them for a successful career or for a lifetime of service as well.
Joel Moser oversees the Identity and Access Management team at AdventHealth's corporate office, but he grew accustomed to manual labor from an early age.
I grew up a farm kid, so manual labor for me is something I've grown up with. But in this setting, much different. I would say it's a lot more rewarding than normal manual labor because you know that you're giving it to possible kids and students in the future. If you think about what this is going to mean to somebody in a year from now, we just see bricks and mortar and individual blocks and a lot of hard work and pain. But it's nothing to what the smiles on the faces of the kids are going to be, a year from now.
While non-clinical volunteers helped address a need for education, the group's medical professionals used their training to meet a need for health care. Partnering with a local Adventist hospital, Garden View Medical Center, AdventHealth volunteers operated medical clinics in 4 low-income neighborhoods. Vanessa Gutierrez is a pediatric physician who gained a deep understanding of the Dominican Republic's healthcare deficiencies while attending medical school here from 2004 to 2008.
Dominican Republic is comprised of a lot of different, levels, and so some of them have access to care because they have insurance and the possibility to pay for insurance, but we also have a lot of people who can't afford insurance and depend a lot on these types of mission trips or hospitals that provide care for them free of charge.
But cost isn't the only hindrance to quality health care.
Sometimes we only think about the aspect of money, but it's also the aspect of access. Not all of them can transport themselves to the places where the hospitals are.
How did someone from 12 miles away come out of the mountains through a car, on a taxi, on a horse? Some came on horses to come and see us. That's how much of an impact this has.
This project is especially close to ICU nurse Jasmine Ayala's heart. Her parents were raised in the Dominican Republic before immigrating to the United States. When Jasmine was a preteen, she visited here for 3 years to embrace her heritage.
The amount of love that you receive when you're here is undeniable. You can be from any place, any corner, anywhere, and you're just poured into an amount of love. And that's the feeling I felt living here every day.
On this trip, Jasmine witnessed this kind of sacrificial love again, an experience that touched her heart and will live on in her memory forever.
We took care of somebody in a very, very poor area who stood there all day, went through all 226 patients that day, fed them from his house, made them food, buckets of food, fed them outside. He was the last patient that day, and he is the sickest patient we've seen yet. And he's still positive from COVID. And he still has his lungs full of fluid. And he should be in my ICU. He should be in my hospital. And that man stood out there in that heat for 8 hours. And then said, okay, it's my turn. I can go now. With the most humblingest voice, with the most kindness in his heart. And he was the sickest one there. It's humbling, and it brings you back down to reality. And he's gonna go home with the medicines we gave him for free that may not cure him completely, and I may never know. of something that might just kill him at 26 years old. It's just astounding to see.
Over the course of 4 days, the medical clinic team saw a total of 883 patients and provided information on where to seek follow-up care to those who needed it. But their care wasn't limited to physical needs. A cornerstone of AdventHealth's mission is whole person care. Sergio Torres is a pastor in the Corporate Services Mission and Ministry Department and senior manager for the company's Spiritual Ambassadors program. On this trip, he exemplified whole person care by manning a spiritual health check-in station for patients at the medical clinics.
So whole care really means that you treat the body, the mind, and the spirit. And so, they spend 5, 7, 10 minutes with the doctor, and with me and others, they spend maybe 2 or 3 minutes. But it's just as significant that the last thing that they do when they come here is that someone will give them a blessing, that someone would address that spiritual nature of their lives. There was this young girl, I don't know, maybe she was 17 or 18 years old. She said, "Can I ask you a question?" She said, "Do you know when does this church have services?" And I said, "Yeah, they meet here on Saturdays, of course, and then they you may want to come around 10:30." And then I asked her, why is that? Why do you want to know that? And she says, "Because I want to come to the service here. I want to come to this church." And I was able to connect her with one of the church volunteers. So they got together, they exchanged phone numbers, and the church member told me she's going to be my disciple. So there was a connection there that I think was very significant and very beautiful.
When we come back, discover one final need AdventHealth volunteers met in the Dominican Republic. On the last day of their trip, volunteers had the unique opportunity to assemble and distribute wheelchairs in collaboration with a Florida-based nonprofit called Share the Love.
It's really a three-party opportunity here where Share the Love is really raising the money for the wheelchairs, shipping them here into the Dominican Republic, brand new wheelchairs, and then the church here has identified the people to receive them, and then our volunteers will have the opportunity to help distribute them to the individuals and have that interaction that can be so meaningful.
So I think that the wheelchair is only an instrument for you to express a deep sense of love for someone else. And I'm so glad that Share the Love allows you to experience that the wheelchair becomes an instrument for you to give yourself, and just taking the wheelchair to that person is incredible, an incredible experience.
It's been a big ceremony. I mean, because it's so important for people to have the ability to move around and get to where they need to get to, and not just feel so limited or dependent. And so I think this is such a kind gesture to bring wheelchairs to people who've been waiting for them and needing them, and for churches to take a part in that. I think it's a wonderful collaboration.
Like the thousands of Maranatha volunteers before them, the team from AdventHealth did not come to the Dominican Republic for a relaxing tourist experience. They came to make a difference. And yet, while working in the hot sun, they were energized.
Well, every morning you get up and you're sore and you're tired, but as soon as you get here, you're ready to go and you want to just build and just give to the community.
While serving hundreds of patients, they were refreshed.
And it brings you back to that humility and also reminds you why you started in the first place, to be a service to others. Yeah. And how much being service to others is a service to ourselves too. I feel like I said, it brings us back to base. I feel it recharges a little.
While giving, they received.
I've made a family. I've made a family in 3 days with people I've never met. Human connection is something so wild, you can't explain it in a book. And what your heart feels and that tug in there, you can't explain that. So to be able to take 25 people, add them in a room, put them in a bus, on a plane, in a house, and say, you're gonna work together, and we all fell in love with each other, it's crazy. It's such a warming experience, and I'm so grateful. I'm so, so grateful.
I can't wait to go back to my family and my kids and just share with them what we've done and bring them. I want to bring them. But even without my family, this family is going to go with me, you know, and everyone that I've met here and all the people, and I get to carry that and share that with every person now I get to interact going forward.
Not only are we bonding together, we're trusting each other with some of our own pain and our stories, and many of us are really taking back something that we have needed for a long time, to step out of our rudimentary kind of busy lives and really step back and see ourselves outside of our normal spaces, and to really critique ourselves as well.
I think serving is a transformation experience. You know, Jesus said, I have come to serve, not to be served, right? And whenever we do that, that's transformation. It changes the way we see others. It changes the way we see other cultures. It changes the way we see other people. And we begin to see, at least maybe for a period of time, we see life in a different light. And I think that's the power of serving.